Yeah, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cohort 8 Demo Day. So, really excited to see the 7 startup pitches today. So, as shared with you, you'll have 10 minutes to share your pitch and 5 minutes for Q&A. We'll be timing you. So, be conscious of time and ensure you finish your pitch in 10 minutes. Himanshi is the timekeeper for today, and she'll be ensuring that you finish your pitch in 10 minutes. She'll be giving you a prompt at 9 minutes, and 10 minutes, there's a hard stop for your pitch, and we have 5 minutes for Q&A. So we have 4 external panelists today. There's Arun Kumar from IM Can. Arun, you can turn on your video and say hi. Then there's Devesh. Devesh is again a prolific angel investor and a CEO in a US company. Yeah, Devesh, you can turn on your video and say hi. Yeah.
Devesh,
yeah. And we have Mr. Pramod Gupta. Again, Pramod Gupta is an active CXO and he's a prolific angel investor and also in the governing board of Angel Network. Yeah, Pramod, you can say hi.
Hello, hi. Hi.
Yeah, and we have Chetan Mathur also. He'll be joining a little late. He mentioned that he'll be joining us. So we have 4 external panelists along with Raj Sethia ji and Saroj Patro, and plus, of course, Team Sarthy. So there are at least 12 people who will be rating you on a set of 10 parameters where we'll kind of rate you from the team to the idea to the stage. And based on that, we'll be kind of selecting champions who move into the champions phase, and there are more than 50% plus ready for funding. Yeah. So that's the objective of this session, and happy to have a esteemed panel of prolific angel investors and mentors who are quite active in the startup ecosystem to judge our startups. Now, I'll just give a quick brief to them. There are 7 startups who are pitching today. Some are pre-revenue, some are in revenue mode. They are from across domains, from B2C to B2B startups. So happy to answer your questions now also and later also. But we expect mentor investors to and panelists to rate these startups on the 10 points we've given you in that form. Anybody has any challenge in accessing the form, please DM me and I can send you the form on DM in Zoom only, or I can WhatsApp it to you. Yeah. So Devesh, Amar, Arun, and Pramod, just ensure you have the form and ideally rate it along with the after the pitch so that your top of the mind you have the idea or rating. And there's a dummy rating also at the start for you to kind of see where that startup, how you can rate otherwise. Any challenge, you can DM me on Zoom only and I can support you. Yeah. So welcome everyone, and over to the first pitch for today. Now, one or two guidelines: ensure that your video is on and while you are pitching, and otherwise request everyone to keep yourself in mute. Don't turn on your audio so there's no disturbance. Yeah. So over to Ravi from Flicksbuddy, who's sharing the first pitch for today. Yeah. Go ahead, Ravi. You can share your screen and share your pitch.
Yeah, sure. So good evening, everyone. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Ravi, it is visible.
Okay, sure. So hi everyone. I am here to represent Flicksbuddy, which is my startup, and we are here to simplify the entertainment for millions of OTT users in India. So starting with the team, I am the CEO and you can say also the chief marketing officer for Flicksbuddy. I come with 12 plus years of experience in branding, digital and social media, and I have worked with brands like Citibank and Snapdeal. I have 2 new joinees with me who have, like, Abhijit has joined as CTO. He's a BITS Pilani alumnus and he has 4 plus years of experience in full stack development. And there is another person, Amrit Krishna. He will also be joining part-time and he will be heading the AI and ML initiatives, right? So we have a complementary team with diverse skill sets across marketing, technology, and data. Now, coming to the problem that we are trying to solve, like all of us have observed that in the last 3-4 years, the OTT content has completely exploded in India. Right. Right now we have like 60 plus OTT platforms, right? And we have 35 crore plus OTT users, and people are now almost consuming 70 to 80 minutes of OTT content, per day. But now there's a problem of plenty right now. There is so much content to watch that people are not easily able to decide what to watch and where to watch. And why is this happening? This is primarily happening because the content, journey or the content discovery is completely fragmented across multiple platforms, whether it is Google, IMDb, news sites, or we even the OTT apps are diverse. So there is no single point of information which is available to users. And the second point is that there are diverse preferences and tastes, right? So people are not exactly, also happy with the recommendations which they get on the platform. So they are not easily able to decide what to watch. In fact, there's a certain research where it is, observed that people spend up to 20 minutes, browsing through their OTT app before they even actually start watching something, right? And 70% plus of OTT audiences, they are not at all happy with the recommendations which they are getting, right? So we also did, a kind of like a primary research, and these are some of the verbatim comments which I have mentioned over here. Like, people say that, they get confused while deciding what to watch because there's so much content which is being released across multiple OTT platforms, and they are also not happy with the recommendations which they're getting on these platforms. Okay. And it's not just a problem for OTT users, but it's also a problem for OTT platforms. Because, if OTT users are not happy, then it is indirectly or directly, affecting the user retention, as well as, it is leading to customer attrition for these OTT platforms. And there is also a paucity of, say data and, market intelligence available, which is not exactly available. So a lot of these OTT players are not exactly able to grow and, expand their subscriber base. And, there are regional and smaller niche platforms, they have challenges in trying to grow their subscriber base. Right. I will move to and now how Flicksbuddy is actually trying to solve this problem, right? So what Flicksbuddy is essentially, is doing is that we are trying to provide a one-stop solution to what to watch for OTT users. So which is a B2C platform, and which in turn will provide the OTT platforms with data and insights, which will help them, provide better recommendations, which will in turn, help them, drive more watch time as well as retain their users, right? So like if I were to talk about Flicksbuddy B2C platform, we are providing like a one-stop guide to what, where, and when to watch for OTT audiences. We will be providing like AI-led personalized recommendations for users so that they can, they are easily able to decide what to watch. We will be building a community of users, which will be like a social network, so that people, they stay more engaged, and also they are able to get trusted reviews and recommendations from their friends as well as other users. People will be able to search, across 60 plus OTT platforms. So it is like streamlining their content discovery mechanism. And this entire platform, it will provide the data and, analytics to the OTT platforms, which will help them enable, generate better, much more accurate recommendations. It will also, help them, provide a better experience to users on their own platforms. And they will also get access to, to a lot of analytical tools, which will, probably help them expand the subscriber base, and also do a lot of, other things like, brand monitor and sentiment analysis, and etc. Coming to the size of the market, like across worldwide, if I were to talk about, there are 3200 million worldwide OTT users, right? And in India, it is 35 crore OTT users. And we are aiming to target 20 million users in the next 3 years. And just basis the annual ad revenue per user, which has been benchmark basis the competitors, it works out to a size of 40 million, market, which we are which we'll be aiming for in the next 3 years. And this is just basis the ad revenues. I have not even talked about other monetization mechanisms which we will deploy, right? This is a snapshot of our current journey, as well as what we are aiming to launch in the next few months. So actually the company was incorporated back in 2021, and we did a version already. We had already launched a version back in 2021, which we had to scrap due to product issues, but we learned a lot, and now we have relaunched a new product, in a new tech stack, and there's a new version of the website which is already live, website and app, right? And in the next 2 months, we want to launch an MVP, which will have a better OTT guide. We will also implement AI-led personalized recommendations, and we will implement the first set of social networking features, like where people will be able to publish watch lists, they can connect with their friends, they can receive and receive reviews and recommendations, from their friends as well, right? And we would want to target the engineering college and film school students, And some of the mechanisms which we are going to employ we are going to heavily leverage on student community and college activation as well. We might also be doing some social media contests to acquire these users, right? And the idea is that the objective is that first you do alpha testing with 1,000 users, then expand it to beta to 10K, and eventually reach up to 1 million users in the next 1 year. So we, as I said, we have already taken the very first basic OTT guide. I would not call that an MVP, but it's just something which we have taken live. And the app, we have where we have not done any marketing. It's just organically we have acquired around 60 users, and I would say the response is pretty encouraging, because people are spending on an average of around 5 minutes on our app, even when there are hardly any features over there. Coming to the monetization part, so Flicksbuddy, while we will be leveraging on ad revenues also, there are other mechanisms also by which we will monetize. Whether all these stakeholders, whether it's OTT platform, film studios, telecom operators, or brands who want to target entertainment audience, they will help. They will be, our platform will be useful to them, because they can run sponsored content on our platform. We can have data and API partnerships with them, and they also get an access to a lot of market and consumer intelligence. This is just a snapshot of the competition ecosystem out there. So actually the number one competitor for us is IMDb right now. They are definitely the world's biggest platform, but the issue with them is that they are not localized for India, right? And they are not a community of people as such, right? And there is only one platform, which is a newly launched platform in 2021, which is Frenzy, which is actually targeting all aspects of consumer journey, whether it comes to OTT guide, or giving personalized recommendations, or user reviews and ratings, or even having a social networking features. So all four aspects is what we will be trying to cover. And what differentiates Flicksbuddy is that we are tailored for India, and we will have more accurate personalized recommendations because we will have user data and preferences across OTT platforms. Coming to the B2B space, when it comes to data and analytics, there's a player called Think Analytics. They are a world leader in AI personalized content discovery, but they also have very limited data. What they are essentially doing is they're aggregating data from various OTT platforms and giving out their insights, right? But they do not exactly know your content likes and preferences, which is what Flicksbuddy will have. Similarly, there is another agency called Ormax Media, which is basically into, into forecasting and testing and tracking, which these kind of services they provide to films and, production houses. But they have a limited set of user base, right? Versus Flicksbuddy, which will have a larger user base, and you will have, a ready-made indicator which users are themselves sharing, So I think, this is another space which we will be targeting. These are the 5-year projections, which we have. So in the very first year, we are targeting 1 million users, and we will deploy ad monetization only after we have that. So currently, I have given this estimate only basis the ad revenues, and ad revenues is I've taken an estimate of like $1 per user, in the first year, right? So we are aiming to reach around 100 million users in 5 years, and that time we will become the world's #1 platform when it comes to OTT and movie audiences. So my idea, while the very first version we have launched, it is still at an idea stage, you can say, right? So what we are currently seeking is an investment of 45 lakhs via convertible note, and where we would launch the MVP as well as we will do the alpha validation with 1,000 users, right? And this we are planning to do in the next 3 months, right? And majority of it will go towards the tech product development piece, and a bit we will spend on user acquisition as well as user retention and some social media activities, and a bit on operational costs. So yeah, that's all, and happy to take any questions.
Perfect on time, Ravi. Good. Yeah. So we open for questions for Ravi.
Ravi, what will be your data source? What kind of partnerships are you doing? Because that somehow didn't come out in the pitch.
Yeah. See, there is the one is the metadata, or you can say the database of movies and series, which we are currently using, getting from third-party APIs. There's a third-party open source database called TMDB, which gives us access to 1 million, 1 million plus database of movies and series. That is what we use. And then second will be the user database, right? Basically user data. So if you create a profile on Flicksbuddy, you are sharing your preferences, about okay, that these are my favorite movies, or these are my favorite series. These are the movies and series I'm looking forward to, or the reviews and ratings which you are putting about Flicksbuddy, or the interactions which you're having with your friends and the community. So all that data points will also come along. And in the long run, our idea is that once we have a significant user base, then we will have direct partnerships with the OTT platforms, so that we then don't have to rely on external database, right? For example, we will get their streaming info directly from them, and we will aggregate it. We will also want to aggregate the users, metadata, that what users are actually watching, like on Netflix, how much time they're actually spending watching something, or if they're watching something, or are they leaving that out. So we will aggregate that data from multiple OTT platforms. So it will help us, give a better solution to not only our users, but also to the OTT platforms.
Yeah, Ravi, hi, this is Devesh. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Ravi. Well, thank you. Great presentation. And thank you for your time. Your scale up from 1,000 users in M1 to 1 million in 1 year.
Yeah.
And yet on your slide, and maybe you have a slide which you're not shown, I don't see a single salesperson. And I know you want money to get salespeople. By the time you get in a person and start to sell, but what are the numbers we're talking below that 1 million? How many colleges? How many? I don't know how many people. How many contacts, or how many? Selling is making leads, and then some of them convert and some of them don't. So just give us some muscle under that 1 million number, please. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, sir. I did not quite exactly understand the query.
So to get your 1 million number, what is your go-to-market? Your sales leads or whatever. Where are you going to get those 1 million?
So yeah, so initial 1,000 users, we want to go it via more personalized acquisition. That's why we were initially targeting like college activation. That you actually reach out to users in colleges, give them out certain incentives, and you tell them, okay, that you join Flicksbuddy, so you will get, say, a free Netflix subscription, or you tell them, okay, that if you will post reviews on Flicksbuddy, or you will join your friends, so you will get something. So you are giving them those incentives. Then, once we have done this validation of alpha testing, then we will move from 1,000 to 10,000 users. At that time, we will use even marketing, channels which will help us scale. For example, we will rely very much on Facebook and Instagram, campaigns. So we will run our app install campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, right? We will, we will also use, Google search, like people who are searching for terms like new OTT releases, upcoming OTT releases, best movies, so those people will also, discover us via Google. Then we are also going to invest heavily on content, SEO and content marketing, right? So if you will see our website, we have already started putting up a lot of content in terms of news, watch list, like best movies to Netflix. So this organic traffic which will come, they will also help us, that will also give us a lot of visibility, right? Then now when it comes to even going beyond that, say after 10,000, we have completed a beta. Now I have to go from say 10 lakh to 1 lakh. So now we will further expand our channels. So we will we will also tie up with a lot of influencers, right? There are a lot of people on Instagram and YouTube who create content on movies and series. So we will tie up with them. We will, ask those users to create a content on Flicksbuddy, so that not only are they generating content for Flicksbuddy, but they are also bringing their user base onto, they are basically driving awareness for Flicksbuddy amongst their user base as well.
Okay, thanks, Ravi. I'll have to pause you here. So we'll request all the reviewers to please rate yourself in the Google Sheet. If you have any challenge, you can DM me on Zoom. Yeah, but please put your rating while the next presentation starts. So over to the next pitch for the day, which is Work.life. Yeah, Kunal, you can share your screen. Yeah, request the rest to mute yourself. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We are the Work.life, and we are an evolution in how you find great people and companies to work with. Who we are, my name is Kunal, I'm the founder. I have 18 years of experience, including an entrepreneurial stint. I have led sales, distribution, and marketing functions in telecom across various geographies, leadership circles, challenger circles. And I have multiple innovations which were later adopted industry-wide. I led a turnaround for Aircel Maharashtra, where in the leadership team, we grew the revenue 3x in 2 years till Jio launched. Tina is my co-founder. She's also had experience in multiple domains. She's handled sales operations across Middle East and Asia, and has worked in complex multicultural environments and roles. We also have a part-time CTO, but he's on stealth mode right now. Our vision is to transform the way you find great people to work with. Our mission is to be a trustworthy and reliable partner for people to make better, more insightful career decisions. And our drive is to minimize toxicity at work and make the workplace a great place to be. Problem. The cause is a lack of transparency that current platforms do not solve. There is different regions, different environments have different work cultures. So within a company, different departments or different locations may have different work cultures. So currently it's not granular, and while the overall picture of a company may be X, the work unit may be completely different. And then manager behavior. Currently, there is no insight into your potential manager's behavior. And I say that a boss may impact my life more than my wife, because it's colleagues who we spend most of our productive hours in, from the age group of say 21 to 60. And therefore our beachhead audience is Generation Z and millennials. That's again beachhead audience. Later we plan to expand to the entire section SECA B white collar workforce. And currently, as studies show from SHRM and other Harvard Business Review, etc., there has been a huge change in how people evaluate joining or leaving a workforce. A lot of it has now changed from 20 years back. Culture and manager behavior has rapidly scaled up in people's reasons for making various choices for leaving or joining. So what does the problem cause? The problem causes a bad fit. And if there is interpersonal and behavioral mismatch, it will lead to disengagement, friction. And if you are disengaged and there's friction, then there'll obviously be a loss of productivity, which may then lead to resignation or a drop in productivity itself. So solution, we've created a category creating solution. It provides you credible, peer validated behavioral feedback into your potential manager and later your potential hire. Sorry. Yeah. And these are real opinions. So we have 25 plus features and safeguards to ensure that the inputs that we get, the review is credible, the reviewer is trustworthy, and therefore the opinions are real and peer validated again. So this gives you a granular cultural peek into the location or department that you're likely to work into. And it's 360 degrees. So your reportee, a reportee might review the manager, a manager might review the reportee, client, vendor, etc. So it's a trust engine we are building. And for the job seekers, it's basically leading to informed decisions to help them not leap from the frying pan into the fire and understand the local culture that you're walking into better. So at no point are we saying that X, Y, Z is better or bad. It's situational. Take an auditor. You don't want an auditor to be everybody's friends with everybody and mask their mistakes. You want the auditor to be a strict, straightforward, no nonsense person. That helps everyone involved. We operate or plan to operate in the digital talent acquisition space. The source links are there at the bottom right, searchandmarkets.com and star.com. The total TAM size is 66.8 billion. SAM is 36.2 billion, and the SOM that we are targeting is 2.9 billion. So this is a comparative with the competition. If you see LinkedIn is not reviews. LinkedIn is basically testimonials. It's a digital billboard for ourselves, and Glassdoor focuses on company. Though with Glassdoor's recent acquisition of Fishbowl, they're starting to focus on managers. There are forums that are made of particular, discussions of particular departments and managers. So Glassdoor has a kind of pivot coming in. The Work.life intends to be the only one-stop platform where you can get end-to-end feedback of the company and individuals. So as you can see on the right, we are a feature-rich, idea-validated, launch-ready platform. And we have put, so Glassdoor and LinkedIn are substitutes or complementary to our site. However, there are two new platforms called Completed.com and Join Candor, which are looking at operating in our space. Join Candor recently raised $5 million in seed funding. So behavioral rating, Join Candor has it, we have it. The differences are review credibility indicators, and I would be happy to speak about them or show them to later. Our business model is to target Gen Z and millennial upwardly mobile target segment. We did a POC with 1,500 users and then scaled it up to an MVP of about 130,000 users. We've managed to get people-to-people reviews at about $1.50, and we've managed to get company reviews for about 31 to 33 cents. And a lot of our go-to-market is on ground, because we've seen that on ground is cheaper. We've gone to software technology parks as part of our MVP GTM validation, where we've told users coming out to have a chai or a dosa that the dosa is on our house. Show your ID card, review your company, and here's a free dosa. Also, we've been doing the traditional digital marketing route to advertise ourselves and jobs that are posted on our platform. So like I was saying, digital marketing, we get employers have posted jobs on our site. We advertise those jobs and we get users signing up to apply for that job from anywhere between 2 rupees to 8 rupees a user. We have ego surfing, so somebody searches for Kunal Kashyap and they can see an ad saying that, see what people are saying about Kunal Kashyap. Influencer marketing and on-ground marketing. In on-ground marketing, like I said, we go to office complexes and get people to review not only their company, but their colleagues. We plan to expand this to Pune, to various software technology parks, and have a campaign of the best places to work in Pune, and hopefully have those places advocate the Work.life. So we are bootstrapped and we have spent about $100,000 of our own money. Our funding requirement is $550,000, and our fund utilization plan, as you can see on below, is about 57% is focused on user acquisition, and the rest, the remaining 44%, the manpower is for product development and to get a certain amount of sales, because we've seen that if employers come on board and post jobs, we get users coming in to apply for those jobs. The cap table is on the right. And that's that.
Done, Kunal?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we are open for questions. And while others asking questions, do rate, evaluators do rate Work.life in the sheet. Any challenge to DM me? Yeah, go ahead. We're open for questions from the panelists. Yeah.
One question, Kunal. I mean, in today's world, your managers are also continuously changing. All of, people, the job tenures have become very small. So even if somebody, I think, rating managers is likely to be humongously complex. And B, even if you, let's say, rate someone and on the strength of somebody you join, and then you find tomorrow you've got somebody else. How does that work?
Pramod, thanks, but thanks for the question. But it's a risk. I mean, I don't mean to equate it to a chef, but today you could be seeing a Zomato rating of 5-star, and you end up eating at the restaurant, and it could be absolutely different experience because the chef has changed. But you still look at the company. You still try and avoid going from the frying pan into the fire, and that Pramod is at a job seeker level. Eventually in our monetization, during hiring as a company, if you have 100 million users, if you have 500 million users, a billion reviews, then there is no company or person taking a call of whether to hire someone or, even today, people go and check out LinkedIn profiles, even though they know that it's a digital billboard. So we plan to expand to a critical mass where we become a solution where you go and check out your potential manager or your potential hire. And the risk is always there that your manager may change in 3 months. I mean, I worked in telecom and I spent 8 months in MTS and I saw 3 managers. But at the end of the day, those were telecom heydays. Pramod, when I was leaving Idea, I had 5 job offers. So from MTS, I came back to Aircel and I met this guy called Nalin Gagrani, and that was one of the genesis of the idea, that I felt that if I knew that Nalin is this kind of person, I may never have stepped across to MTS. I would have come straight to Aircel. Salary all aside, he was a wonderful person to
keep your responses brief. My only request is keep your answers brief so that we can ask more questions. Otherwise, we'll just be able to answer one question. Any more questions?
No.
Yeah, I was hoping one more question so that before we move to the next, even Team Sarthy or other panelists can also ask questions. Yeah. Okay. No. Fine, Kunal. Thanks for your pitch. Yeah. We can move to the next pitch for the day, which is Ubergrad. Over to you, Jaideep. You can share your screen.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. Just give me a second. Can you guys see my screen or not yet?
No, Jaideep.
1 second. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yeah, we can see the screen. Yes.
Okay. And yeah, so can you see the full screen now?
Yes, Jaideep. Go ahead.
Great. Right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, I guess, for some of you. So I am representing Ubergrad.com, a comprehensive do-it-yourself platform for study abroad aspirants. So I'll just introduce my team. I have one of our co-founders, Mr. Ravindra Kumar, also in the call. He's the co-founder and CEO of Ubergrad.com. He did his MBA from IIM and engineering from B2c. So he's a serial entrepreneur who has already successfully, worked on startups like SMS Country, 160x2 and Q Tickets, both on the B2B and B2C space. Then talking about myself, my name is Jaideep. I'm one of the co-founders of Ubergrad, and I also come from IIM, Cohort, and B2c as my education background. Worked with BCG as a management consultant, and then I started my own edtech company called GT Cube, a B2C platform, an online edtech platform. So where I did guide a lot of students who were planning to go for abroad through GRE, IELTS, GMAT, etc. over 2-3 years. Then we joined together. I joined Ubergrad as co-founder 1.5 years back, and we have also one more co-founder, Mangadeep. So she's looking after the HR and management information systems internally. Finally, we have one mentor, Mr. Vijay. He comes from UC Boulder and then with Filani background, and he had NICE, 1,500 employees company in the country. He also has a good experience in the business space. So we believe our core team has a good experience of 10 plus years within just the study abroad space. And also on the whole, we have experience on education, consumer and technology space that makes us work better at the problem that we are looking at. So going ahead with the market sizing. So first thing, we have been observing that a good trend, a positive trend in terms of growth. So around an 18% CAGR for Indian students going abroad for higher education, and the global student mobility is growing at an 8% with almost 5.6 million students moving across each year. So that's a very good sign for us as such the market. Then talking about the market sizing, so purely on the current market that we are looking at, sourcing students from India to 6 destination countries, we're talking about a $1 billion market with around 500,000 students moving around. And the potential serviceable market sourcing from different countries, developing nations to the 6 developed nations, English-speaking nations, we see a market of around $5 billion plus right now. And the whole student mobility market alone is like a $10 billion plus market in the world. So that's something that we can look at with a CAGR of 8% growth as a global student mobility, while Indian market is growing at a 18% CAGR over the last 5 years. So coming to the problems that we are talking about for a student, we're targeting from the student perspective. The first problem is that the student feels that it's a long journey. It is a stressful process for them. And then they have to crack the exams and they have to prepare properly for that to do well in those exams. Number 3 is difficulty in selecting the universities. You have 1,000 plus universities in US alone. Then if you look at the other countries, it's becoming a huge space for anyone to understand the right fit of universities, courses, countries for a particular student at an individual level. Then the application process is an individualistic thing. So a student has to apply to each and every university of their choice, and then they would vary depending on different parameters. So it's a very complex process which cannot be generalized easily for the students. Then obviously the funding is a bigger thing. On top of it, visa is always a complex situation for most of the students. So they struggle with the scholarships, loans, as well as the visa process. Finally, in the recent years, we also are seeing that there's a lot of information overload. That is, information is there in different parts of the space, but the accuracy and then the ease of getting the information in a concise and relevant manner is a challenge for most of the students in their journey. So they are confused in this long process. So on top of it, there are more challenges which are being created by the existing players who are trying to solve the initial set that I was talking about. In Indian market alone, if you look at, there are more than 1,000 players in Hyderabad city alone. Maybe across the country, we see more than 10,000 study abroad or education consultancies playing. And it's a very unorganized sector with a lot of scope for standardization. The largest player in India is talking about 25,000 students in a year, with plethora of small scale players who are talking about 50, hundreds of students in a year. On top of it, there is a huge bias for these companies to push students towards partnered universities, which is where they make a lot of money without considering the student or the best welfare of the student. Then obviously the test preparation space is a very inefficient right now. People are going for the large group batches where they don't see a lot of improvement in their performance. Then there is no transparency or the control of the process. So typically in the current scenario, people just trust the consultant. They have to give every document to them. They have no visibility on what's happening. At the end of the day, the consultant only gives an update after a long time with a lot of mistakes happening behind the scenes. In the long journey, people with the lack of transparency and control are even more stressed, the students. Finally, the accurate information, as I said, information is there, but in the concise and relevant manner with accuracy is a big question mark in a lot of platforms. So that sort of is causing a lot of problem for the students. So though there are a lot of players, it looks like there are a lot of players existing to solve, but we believe that they are not solving it efficiently or maybe adding more problems to the student in this overall journey. Now, just segmenting the customers. So first, the profile that we are focusing right now, since as we said, we are right now looking at sourcing students from India, and we are focusing on masters, which is around 90% of the students who go abroad. The global student mobility, there's around 85 to 90% of students who move for their higher education, the master's program. So we are focusing on that major chunk, age 20 plus, 21 to 26 years, who have completed their degree or in their final years of their undergraduation in India with a limited work experience, whose aspirations are to settle down in abroad for work or maybe to come back after quality education. Technically, they focus more on the STEM courses to increase their visa opportunities and the job opportunities that will help them to settle down. And they would ideally look for more English-speaking nations like USA, UK, Canada, Australia for the ease of settling. So we have just segregated into 3 parts. Number one, out of this bigger pool, people who are ambitious and confident. Right now, their mindset is they want to aspire for the top universities wherever they go. They want to control the entire process. Due to the inefficiencies in the current market, they prefer to do it on their own with the help of their friends or seniors. Then comes the major chunk, the 60%, which is an aspirational set, but they are scared to do on their own. They may not get into the Harvard, Stanford, or the top universities. They would want to land up in the best possible set for their profile. But the challenge is they are again scared to do it on their own. So technically they are left with no choice but go for the half-baked solution of the existing experts, and without the transparency and good guidance, they're still going with it to being unhappy with that. Then the bottom set, the 20% of the inert and scared crowd, who are not that worried about where they land up. They just want to get into a university to move out of the country. They typically outsource the entire process and they apply through experts. So we are targeting the top 2 sets, the ambitious, confident, and aspiring but scared crowd through our product. So what is the solution that we are talking about? So we believe that our platform gives a relief. So we have broken down into 6 steps for the entire process: doing your research, then preparing for the exams, then getting the best list of universities for your profile based on your profile, then start the applications, enroll in the university after you get an admit, then get your visa and fly to your destination. So we have a platform built to help in the overall each and every step for the student, so that our DIY platform, which is the technology enabled with the help of data, we help the students along with the experts that will lead to a complete control, transparency, and best results for the student. So in simple terms, our value proposition is that we are trying to be transparent, give complete picture of what to apply, where to apply, everything at one place with transparency where students can apply to both partnered and non-partnered. Then it's easy. We make sure that we give enough resources for them so that they can do on their own, and maybe if required, they can take help from our experts to do with the help of the experts. Finally, efficient to make sure that the probability of getting an admit and visa is increased and they don't falter at any of those steps, and make sure that they land up in the best possible output. So we believe Ubergrad's value proposition is Ubergrad.com supports study abroad aspirants with a transparent, easy, and efficient platform to make the journey smooth, fulfilling, and tension-free. So the solution we are offering for the 3 segments as I'm talking. So we have 2 memberships, bronze, silver, and gold. By default, we're giving bronze to everyone. So silver member is someone who pays 1,500 rupees to upgrade, get all the technology enabled features with no human intervention from our side, that they can do the entire 6-step process with the help of the resources that we have given and the recommendations that are already in place. So a student can complete the journey without help of a human. Whereas a gold membership is where you have to pay 5,000, but the idea is that you would be getting an expert to handhold you. Yes, all the tech enabled features are already there to enhance your experience and make it more efficient, but there will be an expert to give you that companionship and support so that you don't make mistake anywhere and get things done for you, where you have the control, but then also that someone is there to hold you and help you in the overall journey. So the confident students can use a silver membership where they can do it on their own, while people who have a little bit of worry can still go ahead and do it on their own with control and transparency while taking an expert help from Ubergrad side. So the landscape with respect to competition, so it's a very unorganized, as I said. So I'll just quickly run through. There are 4 categories that we are talking about. Large national players who have multiple branches across the cities, like IDP, Chopras, which have 60, 70 branches, say for example, and they do around 10,000 students on average. Whereas state players are people who have a good presence within one state, like they're located in multiple cities or multiple branches within the same city of a state, where they do around 1,000 to 2,000 students. You might find 20, 30 such players across the country. Then comes the small scale regional players who would have 1 or 2 branches.
Yeah, Jaideep, 60 seconds more. Yeah,
oh.
Finish in 60 seconds.
Okay, so they would deal with only 1,500 students, and then we have new era players who are the digital players who are doing this. So majority of the market is captured by the small scale players. So this is one small competitor analysis where the regional players are giving poor quality, poor number. The traditional players are doing larger numbers but less quality of service. But new era players are doing better quality and dealing with slightly smaller numbers now, but they're growing. So there's a scope for a big vacuum to be filled by the players with better quality and technology into the picture. So the traction that we had in the last 7 months is something like this, where we are growing. We have launched a do-it-yourself platform since 4-5 months, but we have the gold membership for more than a year. So we did around 2,000 registrations with 350 paid users and 150 enrollments last year, which led to us around 2 crore revenue. So this is just a potential revenue chart. Since we don't have time, I'll just skip it. So we can make money from different sources. The major chunk we make is from our partnership with the universities, which give us more than $2,000 on average. Best case scenario, we make around 2 lakhs from a student. In worst case scenario, we still can make a 15,000 revenue from a student. So these are some of our projections where we grow our user base and get our gold and silver upgrades. And then we can talk about our revenues, which are going to scale up from, right now we're at 2 crore. We're anticipating to hit 7 crores, 18 crores, and then 53 crores in the next 3 years, with our enrollments growing at a 155% annual growth rate. So funding ask is this is our cap table right now. So there are 3 co-founders. As you can see, we didn't have any external investor as of now. So we bootstrapped ourselves for the last 1.5 years through founders money. And we are asking for a 4 crore funding at a valuation of 20 crores, where we want to spend half of our money into the marketing expense. The rest 30% goes to the team and 20% goes into building our technology and innovation aspect to add more features. So this is one go-to market strategy, where we want to first create the awareness to B2C and B2B, the colleges as well as the digital markets, but build the relationship depending on the student stage where they are in. Like they're looking to go abroad more than 12 months, 6 to 12 months, and less than 6 months. Do things accordingly and try to attract them to upgrade to gold or silver and help them with that. So that's our vision. So I aligned with this. So right now we're a B2C, but after 3 years in the long run, we want to go to B2B2C, where we also tie up with small scale players through SaaS platform, as well as onboard the universities to help them on the marketing side.
Yeah.
So
Good presentation, Jaideep. We are open for questions.
Yeah, hi, this is Devesh. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Devesh.
Okay, so Jaideep, your relief, what was your called relief, that zigzag chart that you showed, the one you can go back, please.
Yes,
the second step is critical, okay, which is the one which has the tests, because if you're not hitting your scores, your relief, sorry, not whatever, your ACO exam, if you're not hitting the scores, the dropout ratio I anticipate is the highest at this stage, because I know my son has gone through this rat race. So I'm speaking from experience. So what in your build-up plans, what is your dropout rate at the stage 2? Because a lot of students tend to drop out, no matter how ambitious they are. If they're not starting to hit their scores, there's no point taking them up the garden path.
Agreed. To just add to that, that's what we're trying to stress upon it, to say that we have our AI-enabled learning platform that we've built on a philosophy, where we are trying to help students to prepare and see a real growth, be it through online or self-paced course, that we have our own unique algorithm that we have built, so that we improve the accuracy and performance. And to be very frank, just based on the small set of people who have done the courses through us, I can clearly say the average GRE score, let's say, is 302 and 303. Students who did through our platform, I could clearly say it was more than 308 to 310. There's a clear, difference on the average performance of the students who did through us, even for the IELTS, which we do as part of the training. So the global average is 6 at IELTS academic. The students that we have consistently have scored 6.5 and 7 on average. So I completely agree that when you don't do well in these exams, you have no choice but to apply for a lower rank universities, which will decrease your overall probability of getting visa, or maybe you drop out, as I said, at some point, because you don't even qualify for the basic criteria. So there is a drop rate, but personally, we have felt that the students who come to us right now are not only coming for coaching, they are doing something else somewhere. And since actually in COVID, to be frank, a lot of universities have waived these tests partially. So without GR, you can apply for the English test has been mandatory, and even there people are going with Duolingo and all. So we have seen that it's relatively easier for the last 2-3 years to create these exams as compared to the cutoffs that were there earlier. But still, we believe that that's why we are stressing on this learning platform that we have as part of a solution to increase the chances of getting a better score, and overall journey as well will be more efficient for you.
So Jaideep, Girish, pardon, I'm just continuing the question. So that testing, that test content, the content of that test, and the developing the question, who's doing that for you today? Do you have an external panel, or who creates a question database?
So what? Yeah, please. Okay, what we have done is this, that I come from my background of this EdTech. As I said, I physically trained more than 5,000 students at multiple institutes. Then I had my own online platform that we built since 2018. So we have a good question base that we built for GRE and IELTS. So primarily, I also train students. That's one of the things I do. So I built a good percentage of the content. Then I also have people in the industry that I've met through my network of teaching and training across for the last 3-4 years. So we have a couple of freelance trainers for both GRE and IELTS. So we have only done GRE and IELTS content so far. So they are helping us to pool the good content along with my involvement as well. So we are just trying to. I would say we have around 50 to 70 hours of videos that we made, which is more than 200 videos, and we have more than 2,000 to 3,000 questions. And I'll tell you most interesting thing: we have built a smart algorithm which can generate questions on its own for quant. For only math, we did something like this, where if you give a pattern of a question, it can generate infinite questions for the students to practice. So we are again unique on that aspect, which I can proudly claim that we have built things like that to make it enough like infinite practice for students to get the questions and grow on top of that.
Yeah. Any last questions? Anyone?
Okay, I dropped out, but you're offering a GRE and IELTS.
Yes, sir.
IELTS is basically equivalent of TOEFL. If I'm
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Well, our IELTS or Duolingo, one English test. You just need to take one of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't have any further questions at this stage.
Yeah. Anybody else has any last question on the business model, on the competitive scenario, and on the scale-up plan?
So I'll ask last question.
Go ahead, Arun.
You mentioned that there's a lot of competition, and I'm aware of competition at least at the local stage in a very big way. So how are you trying to distinguish yourself apart from the fact that you are a tech-based platform?
So I think we are going to talk about this again and again. If you go to any local player, there's no standardization in terms of what is. I mean, I myself have experienced through internal circles where the recommendations are very bad. A good student is not recommended very good universities purely with the bias, lack of the data part. People don't keep those hundreds of universities in their mind. They only talk 10, 20 universities. That just doesn't lead to efficiency. And also there's no transparency given. People take over the entire process into their hands. Typically in all the local consultants, there has been huge clash with respect to that in terms of ideology or philosophy. But we are keeping it very clear for students. You do it, you have everything under your control. We are trying to keep things this is the only thing I'm going to talk about. There is competition, but since none of them are big enough, like as I said, I've shown most of the players are very small. That's not that big a brand for us to compete. Other than those 10, 20, the state level or the national players, maybe you have to compete with them. But again, they are also not too big that they're not giving any of these things, which we can clearly believe that by talking about the transparency, which easy and efficiency, we believe we can really stand out. Because students at the end of the day want the best for themselves, and if we let them apply to non-partner, which is a very clear thing, the charge we are taking is 5,000. If you go to any other consultancy, either they don't agree to apply to non-partner, or they charge you 50,000, 1 lakh. In that scale, when you want to apply to a non-partner university. So that's a thing we are also trying to say. We keep it very clean and neat. You can clearly decide what's best for you. Go ahead, but we will be there to support you on the whole journey.
Fine, Jaideep. Okay. Thank you, Jaideep, for your pitch. Yeah. We'll go to the next presentation for the day, which is Botnomics. Sampath, you can share your screen.
Sure. Thank you.
And you can turn on your video also, Sampath.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Sampath, we can see your screen. Go ahead, Sampath.
Yeah, my name is Sampath, and I'm representing my company Botnomics. We're based out of India and UK. And if you look at the right-hand side, we also have the award-winning prize from Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology last year. And we have, other awards from Graham Bell and also, the Indian Achievers Forum and Businessmen. The company what you're talking about is the complete SaaS-based product. We are trying to use a tagline called Unleash the Power of Bots Intelligence. So about the product, our product is called Botnomics. We have a copyright in 178 countries. The intent of this product is, real-time problems should be solved real-time and with the intelligent automation and real-time analytics. That's the motto of our product. And if you're looking at the problem statement, every company and every user in a company is facing a lot of time when it comes to resolving their own IT problems. An average time, as per the as per the Gartner and as per the researchers markets, it is 30 minutes for every small issue, and an average issue there. 30 minutes is an average handling time, and there's no self-service or empowerment where they can user can fix the problems on a simple click of a command or a simple voice command. And every CTO thinks, I'm actually spending huge time and cost, in terms of, on IT, and how do I reduce the budget? So that's when, we introduced this product called Botmind, a full spectrum of intelligent automation. It's a complete, it's a AI incubated product here. So what it does is it has the capabilities of self-healing. And where conventionally people used to follow these 10 steps, and now we are giving a button to just click a button, and now we are using the cognitive capabilities where you can just talk to the system like Siri, Cortana, and we can actually fix the problems. And bot product is one of the very important feature where any important critical applications which are down, and as of today it's taking like I would say at least 5 to 6 hours. Using this concept, we can go back to the working condition in 2 to 3 seconds there. That's a feature. In terms of market opportunity, again, as per the research and markets, the global opportunity is close to around $21.8 billion in next 6 years or 4 years, and if CAGR is also is close to 30.4, and we have a great opportunity to be the market pioneers here, and we have very less competition in the market. To talk about this, I'm going to talk about it. And potential over here, in short, it's actually anyone who has a computers, and the companies which has more than 500 computers eligible for this potential. But in terms of making more revenue and everything, we are focusing on BPOs, tech centers, automobiles, and also the universities and everything. Why should customer buy? Because it's actually trying to save a lot of time. It will try to fix the problem in few seconds, and sometimes in less than 2 to 3 seconds. It can save time. In many cases it actually avoids the human touch. It does the auto healing. It also has the capabilities of the voice, which can fix the problem in few seconds there. Another good thing is, once you have this product, you can actually fix the computer problems from your mobile, which is a very unique capabilities which is not there in the market. And in terms of the other accolades, we have a government of Karnataka acknowledging a product and giving us an opportunity to start the work here. And we also signed contract with the University of Cohort. And in terms of second one, which is the copyrights which we have in 178 countries. And in terms of competition, we have competition like Aptean and NanoHeal. We still stand apart because we are bringing in the artificial intelligence capabilities, the cognitive intelligence capabilities and everything. So we are standing apart, and we are trying to be a pioneer in the market. So this is a team. I'm the founder, and I'm the chief operating officer. We have Sirisha, who's an executive officer, and Mark, who's actually heading the North America, is a managing director there and is trying to take care of the entire US. And we have Vivek Singh, who's actually heading the sales and global strategy there. And the social impact, we are trying to eradicate the mundane task which is happening, and the technology fatigue which is there with every non-technical guy. We are trying to eliminate it. The self-healing support and self-help, which is not a conventional model, which are actually giving the excitement to the user to fix the problems by themselves. And the smart governance, using this technology, we are trying to bring this smart governance in every company. It's already there. We're trying to bring in more smart governance here. And in terms of POCs and everything, we have done the POCs with the Sequoia Capital, Microsoft, Tata Business Consultancy, Wonder Cement, and we list in the Netherlands and everywhere. Lot of companies, and that's a huge. If you look at the scores here, every company which we started with, if you look at the score, they started with an average of 15 minutes, and we were able to solve in less than 10 seconds. That's the power we are trying to bring in. If you're talking about Microsoft, this is one of the best opportunity for us, because they're giving us a handhold help to integrate a product with Microsoft directly, which is Microsoft Teams. I'm going to show that. And the funding ask is $250,000, and we would actually try to use on technology marketing, and also more into the patent building things there. I wanted to first before going to the next level, I want to show you the actual product. How does it work? So you can feel the product, how does it work and everything. So for example, today, if you have a problem with a VPN, or if that is not working, so what you generally do is you take at least 15 to 20 minutes to fix the problem. That's an average time you normally take it. But using this technology, we try to fix in less than 3 to 4 seconds. I'll show you that. So I have a VPN here. And anyone who's in IT can actually correlate this problem statement very well. So if your VPN is corrupted, generally to identify the problem and fix the problem as per Gartner, again, I'm talking about the Gartner data and also the metricdata.net, we take at least 30 minutes to fix any problem. Over here, I have a VPN. I am using a concept called bot protect. I am actually protecting my profile in such a way that even though there's a virus attack on this computer, it goes back to the working conditions, stating that my software robot is designed in such a way I have to go back to working condition where I was working before, in that too in 2 to 3 seconds. So I have a VPN here. I am I'll just try to delete intentionally. Okay, intentionally this is deleted. If this is deleted, to get it back, average time is 25-30 minutes as per the metricdata.net and also Gartner. Over here, I'll come back here. I'll say restore my VPN. 1, 2, 3 seconds. Okay, blink of an eye twice. I got it back. I'll just go back to my settings and I'll say VPN. And I can just get my VPN here. That's the power of the intelligence, bot intelligence we're talking about. So the next one, the entire organization believes on compliance, which is when I say compliance, if it is non-compliant, the time to take to fix your computer problem is actually humongous, and the risk of a computer is also very, very high. So to fix this common problem of USB, okay, you take at least 40-45 minutes. And if it is a fixable issue, if it is a server related problem and it is connected to server, it'll take at least 4 to 8 hours. Over here, I can just come back. I say disable USB. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. It's actually made my system compliant. I'll just go back to my screen and you can see it's compliant. So this is the power we are trying to bring onto the table. And the most important thing is today's world, everyone are worried about the security. Okay, and in terms of security, we are actually giving 3-layer security. I'll just show you one example before that. For example, if I want to install an application as a user, if you're working for BFSI or any other critical sectors, you do not have any idea admin rights. But to install an application, you have to raise a ticket. It goes to level 3, level 4 engineers and come back to you install. They take long time. Over here, I'm creating a store which does not require admin rights to the user. We have designed and is approved by all the security teams. And just click a button like this and install it. In few seconds, you can see trigger is triggered from backend, and the silent installation will be done. So that is the
okay,
power.
Sampath. Yeah, I think good demos for the product, Sampath. Yeah, but this is more of an investor pitch. So let's go back to your presentation. And anything else you want to share in the presentation, or we can go for
I just
questions?
want to show, if you, Girish, if you're okay with the the integration with Microsoft Teams, because that is where I am trying to get a lot of help from Microsoft and I'm trying to pitch in for other investors. So this is just
take more questions, Sampath. If no questions, we'll see that.
No problems. Yeah.
So we're open for questions. Especially Devesh and quite a few are working in the governance compliance space. So happy to get questions for Botnomics.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sorry, Girish, if I'm asking too many questions, I'll shut up. But
no, perfectly okay. But my request to both question and answer, keep it short. Keep both the questions.
Yeah. Number one is,
keep it short.
Number one is your solution sitting inside the firewall of the client, or is it outside the firewall?
It's a SaaS product. So it is, it's a SaaS product. We're just taking everything is connected to APIs.
Okay, which means you're outside the firewall and you're going to use APIs to talk to the customer systems and out. So how will you handle if you are accessing confidential data? How will you handle things like GDPR or data privacy issues?
Yeah,
assuming that they're touching.
Excellent. So as I told you, we are based out of London, and that's the first priority for us, maintaining a GDPR compliance. So we the product is completely, when we create this exe file for any new customer, we will create an admin console to them, only accessible to them. So we do not have any admin access to privileges to us. Only when there's a concurrence given by them saying that you can use you can see the data on a readable format to bill it. So that's when we can do it. Everything is residing on their systems when it comes to the exe files and the data on that. Only the solutions we are triggering from the SaaS model. That too through an API model.
Okay. Did you cover your revenue model? I somehow seem to have missed that.
So the revenue, sir, we made, we started this company in 2021 April. Till now, we made a revenue of $28,000. But we are proud to say that we have signed a contract with the government of Karnataka with worth of ACV of 1.5 crore in universities and revenue departments, and a lot of pipelines are there. But in terms of paid revenue or the revenue which is hitting my account is $28,000 till date.
What is the model? What is the model? How do you earn money?
So it's a license-based model. So it's a purely license-based model. Every license is, in India, we are trying to sell it for 150 rupees per month, and that's a list pricing. In US and other countries, we are selling it for $3 per month. That's again a list pricing.
Okay, and you talked about a number of POCs that have been done.
Yes, sir.
So any of those organizations converting into paid users?
Yes, and to look at this, we have done with the Netherlands company, which is called TMF Global, biggest payroll company in Europe. The purchase order is sent to them, and we are working with them to close out on. The invoice is sent, and we are waiting for the purchase order for them. So that is close to 20. I think it's $84,000 per year.
You talked about in India, Tata and a few others. So therefore, where are those discussions?
So, Tata Business Solutions, which is we are working with this company from last, I would say, 2.5 quarters, and we are waiting for them to give a sign off on that. Well, as of now, I think there's a change in management. It is taking a decision little late, sir. The change in management of the Tata top
you guys will have a very intrusive and entry into the solutions of into the entire IT framework of the companies. So what are the questions you are hearing, and why should people trust you?
So in terms of very good question, sir. In terms of security, we are actually we have got a VAPT certified from a UAE based company, and also they're based out of India. Okay, that gives us the confidence that this does not have any virus or a malware identification here. Second thing is whatever scripts we just saw that, right, it is not executed from my system. It is actually executed from the Microsoft the Azure. So what the process what we are following is we are creating a file which is called cabinated file, okay, which is a 3-layer, I would say, highest security layer of in terms of Microsoft. Which any PowerShell script you write, when you cabinet that file, it is very difficult to hack it. That's the first layer of security. Second layer of security what we're giving is the tokenization. So to handshake my product with your with your system, it is not simply I'm just installing on the system. We are taking a certificate of authority and the root level information and matching that information on our system. Only when the token happens, when the handshake happens, when the token is actually identified by your system saying that okay, this is the right token, we are executing the solution. That's a second layer of security. And third layer is by default from Azure. It's a very secured, as Azure itself says 99.9999% of security is given by them. There's a 3 layers of security we are giving there, sir. So as of now,
tell me any of these IT infrastructure companies like HCL, Infra, or why won't they take you out in any organization?
I'm working with Cohort. Cohort is we are working with one of the big customer in UK through Cohort, and in Tech Mahindra we are working with one of the customer in Dubai, and there's a company by name.
Why would the giants not be able to take you out is the question, not whether you're working or not working, but
okay.
you have which they don't have. Yeah.
So definitely the answer is yes. If anything is definitely is irreplaceable. We are not replaceable. So that is the only reason I got the copyrights and the patent applied here. If everything is going through, I will have a royalty of everyone is trying to copy my product.
Fine. Devish, I'll have to actually because there are too many questions. One quick question, Devish, and then we'll go to the next one.
Have you heard of IOPEX, Shiva Ramani?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat that?
Have you heard of IOPEX, Shiva Ramani?
No, sir. No.
I'd strongly urge you to connect with him.
Okay, sir.
It's a similar solution. It's a similar solution, Devish?
Yeah, and they've been around for 3-4 years.
Okay.
And they're doing data analytics in ADAM both.
Okay.
So
fine.
I actually like your presentation, by the way, and I really like your thinking in the fact that but I just think I would say it's talk to Shiva.
Okay, we'll do that, Devish. Okay, thanks. So we go to the thanks, Sampath. You can stop sharing your screen. We go to the next presentation of today, which is Hattiops. Shashi, you can share your screen.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your.
Hi everyone. So
Turn
this
on your
is
video,
Shashi.
Shashi. Turn on your video.
Yeah, no, nothing. So my co-founder Mahendra is there, so he'll be sharing the screen and he'll be doing the
Fine.
presentations.
Fine. Go ahead, Mahendra.
Hello, all. Good evening. So this is Mahendra. I'm here to represent Hattiops, and I'm here with my co-founders Shashidharan and Joshua. So coming to our expertise, I'm having around 12 plus of years of experience in cybersecurity, and I also have done some entrepreneurial stints. And all my life, I have worked for small and startups. And coming to Shashi is having 16 years of experience in sales, and he had worked with the companies like Palladian, which is at us now, and Tata Elxsi, Reddington, and all. He also has done some startups in the past. Okay, so before deep diving into the Hattiops and the business model, I just want to take 30 seconds to 1 minute to explain the one observation that we had found. So the inspiration from this slide has taken from the TEDx talk of Guy Kawasaki, The Art of Innovation, where he was telling about the concept called faster and better, cheaper, where people adapting for better versions every time when there is an industrial revolution that is happening in every curve that in every revolution that jumping the curve. So if you take the example of ice, in the old days, people used to harvest in the cold areas and used to distribute it. And after that, the second 2.0, the where factories has popped in, and then the ice is being developed, made in the cities itself, and then distributed. So in the third revolution, that is refrigerators, which changed the entire landscape of the ice, where people used to make the ice. We applied the same thing in IT hardware and software. So where we applied is like in the 1.0, where people having own data centers and then moved on to shared data centers. Now it's everything cloud. And the similar thing happened in the software, where people used to develop and then outsource or procure. Now it is SaaS. So silently, the one thing that we observed is that is happening. Similar thing is happening in the procurements and operations. So in the 1.2, where IT corporates used to procure everything by themselves for everything, whether it could be a facility management to a big data center, whatever it is, everything they used to procure by themselves. After that, they started augmenting by combining with other services providers and then move forward. Now, what we believe this is going to be the OAS, where procurement operations as a service is going to be the next big thing, which is a faster, better, and cheaper when compared to the two models. So, proudly presenting you the Hattiops, where Hattiops is the operations and procurement simplification platform, which untangles all the procurement hassles and make it simple to the users. So it's a buyer-intended B2B procurement SaaS platform to help founders, admin teams, facility managers, HR managers in getting rid of all their procurement hassles and improve efficiency. Our platform also takes care of all the steps involved in the procurement operations, right from fetching the RFQ from a customer and providing the multiple estimations for their need and taking care of the deliverables and payments. We are trying to automate the workflows involved in the procurement with the role-based approvals and integrate with the corporate systems like GST filing, spend analytics, asset inventory, and the budgeting, etc., etc. As of now, the tech platform is not that mature. We just launched it, but this is our vision. So coming to the TAM, so this is our assumed TAM based upon the verticals that we are serving and based upon the data points that are available in the internet. So we have calculated our TAM, assumed TAM is 1.5 lakh crore Indian rupees. And our conservative TAM that we had put down is a 63,000 crore Indian rupees. So our target customers are companies who are having employee strength below 500. Basically about 20, below 500. And the TAM can be expanded to the other verticals like software market, enterprise software sales, and other corporate services and talent acquisitions. The similar solution can be applied in other industries like hospitals, hotels, and educational institutions. So getting deep dive into the problem statement. So at an average, every company spends around 20% of the time finalizing the vendor, researching about the product and finalizing the vendors, and then following up the vendors, and then negotiating with the vendors, payment terms, delivery timelines, everything. And there is no single platform available in the market where one facility manager or a founder has to interact with the multiple vendors for every requirement. And there are always challenges about the quality terms, delivery terms, payment, credibility, execution, and after support, and during this, and during the support during the execution. And this is just to compare with the existing and the new way, what we call is a Hatti way. I just put on this slide. So the steps involved in procuring stuff is research about the product or services that they want to procure, and find the contacts through internet, peer references, and call them up, get their serviceability, follow up them with their estimations, and compare those estimations, why a particular quote is higher, why a particular quote is lower, what is the difference between them, and then screen the vendors about their credibility, all those stuff, and constantly follow up them till the deliverables done. And many of the times payment has to be done before the delivery. So this is what we call it is like Hatti way. It's very simple. Buyer will be provided assistance in posting, in choosing the products and services that are required. They post an RFQ in our platform, and our backend team will look into the product and the request, and then suggest the customer in all the ways the better product, the better services, right fit for their requirements, and then provide a multiple. Once the client approves that, we'll provide a multiple estimations from the vendor base that we have, and client can choose one among them, and upon the client approval, and we'll take care of the entire execution, right from the payments, deliverables, everything. So in a simple pictorial way of representing Hattiops, the name was Hatti Market in the beginning. We rebranded as a Hattiops. So it can be anything, can be IT companies, anybody, but right now our focus area is only IT companies. It can be any need. It can be a laptops, desktop. In short to say, it can be a 5 rupee biscuit packet to a 2 crore service. We cater everything for the corporates. So talking about the benefits, it's no efforts, just a post, hassle-free, no need to call anybody, vendors, no vendors. It's all integrated network. Every estimations will get in no time, and every quote is transparent, and all the vendors are credible, and it's a time saving. And talking about the metrics, we have around 16 customers, and we have an MRR of 6 lakhs. And 80% of our orders are from the repetitive customers. And our average timeline is 2 days because our tech was not up to the mark. If we improve the tech, then that operational efficiency will increase a lot. And we have 60 plus credible vendors, and our target, again, we already spoke about the conservative time. So our revenue models, we are planning to have a revenue from 3 streams. One is subscription from the buyers, and a percentage from the deal, and a platform fee from the vendors. At this moment, we are taking only percentage from the deal. Other 2 revenue models have not opened up yet. And this is our journey. We have started as a Hatti Market in November 2021. We were in apartment space. That time the COVID was right up the peak. So we thought is like we apply the same thing into apartment
Mahindra,
space.
60 seconds more.
Okay. So from then to now, so we rebranded a company in June 2022. Now it is Hattiops, and we have around 16 customers. And this is our customer base. And our ask is 1.5 crore Indian rupees at the valuation of 15 crore. And the funds will be utilized to strengthen the sales, improve tech, and expand to the other geographies in India. So that's all.
Good, Mahindra. Yeah, open for questions. Open for questions.
Yeah, Mahindra, Devesh here again.
Yes,
I think your platform needs to differentiate between direct procurement and indirect procurement. I think your platform is targeted at indirect procurement, because direct procurement is very hard to quantify and get into, and usually organizations don't like to outsource that. So I think Your target segment is indirect procurement. Please clarify that. So that's point number one. Point number two is, I think yours is a bolt-on solution. Am I right? It sits on top of the ERP of an existing customer. Am I correct?
As of now, we have not integrated. Yes, that's the point. That's where we are going to.
So which means you will be using APIs to go into and talk to the system and then come back and bring information. Am I correct? So you'll be sitting outside the customer's ERP.
Yes, sir. So that the point here is like we'll be integrating inside the corporates, but the target customers we have will not have an ERP. That's what we assume. So in the other words, we can say that we'll integrate with the GST filing, we'll get into the budgeting, those kind of stuff, asset inventory. Okay. So our primary is IT corporates, not the manufacturing.
Yeah, so I think that's where I was going. I think we need a slide on what are your target industry verticals and what are your geos. Are you looking only at India? Are you looking at US? The Europe VAT regime is extremely stiff, and you need a lot of compliance there. So what is your geo, which geo and which industry? So I think you just clarified not marketing, manufacturing, I beg your pardon. So I think we need some clarity on that, because procurement indirect is a huge word. It's a very big word.
Yes, sir. So I'll just clarify it. So our target customers are IT corporates. At this moment, we are focused in India. And then once we crack the template of managing everything, so then we can expand to the other geos.
But the direct indirect procurement?
It's the indirect one. So where a company do a research and then buy the stuff is what our core forte. If they can buy something directly from Amazon, that is not our thing. But we facilitate even that also. Shashi, please add on if you want to add anything.
Yeah, so Shashi, thanks for the question. So quickly, it is indirect procurement, and see, for basically we cater to all the office needs of a company. So right now our target segment is India, and in specifically 20 employees to 500 employees company, where the bandwidth is very less to put a facility management team or admin team to manage all the procurement. So we substitute them as an entity and support them in the whole procurement process, from your laptops, networking devices, furnitures, or housekeeping materials. We have close to 60+ vendors with us. So any kind of a requirement that comes to us in our platform, and through the platform, we get to the vendors and it will be delivered at their doorstep. So our sweet spot right now is 20 employee to 500 employee company, where even ERP, they having an ERP itself is a doubtful thing in the current scenario.
So essentially yours is an SME model, right? You're aiming for the SME, MSME segment. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. We are in the SME segment. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. More questions?
When you say your ARR is 6 lakhs per month, right? Or MRR 6 lakhs per month. Is this the value of the goods you supply, or this is your earning?
No, this is the value that we supply.
Okay, and what's your margin in that?
See, usually depends on each and every vertical. If we average out, right now we stand at around 8 to 10%.
Okay, so therefore, actually, your margin is between 50 to 60,000 per month. Your revenue.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, and see, I think this is. I mean. First of all, I am myself aware of a few other organizations, a few other startups which are there. I mean, ProcuSave and Indus Uno come directly to my mind. So it's not that those organizations don't exist. It's just that it's a significantly difficult market, because in the SMEs fairly often the owner, or especially in SMEs, owner wants to have a direct control, and it's not necessary, and then they want to sort of manage their books, and there are 50 other things, and it's a very highly unorganized market, and you have to work on a catalog. So I think you have to rethink your product.
Okay, understood, sir. So to answer your question, right now, since you said that it is an unorganized sector, basically in the startup segment, we are trying to organize it and bring it to a platform, right? Once we have launched our basic tech, in future also, any kind of a requirement, our AI will take it up, what all requirements are there directly in the platform itself. There is no need for them to research outside, go for vendors outside also.
I get that. I mean, I see, I'm not sort of questioning you. I mean, it's ultimately your business and you will do what.
I was just trying to answer your queries.
No, fair enough. All that I'm saying is that for AI to work, you need data sets. And it's a segment of, business which is extremely data poor. And even more so, data standardization is virtually non-existent. So I think, I mean, you'll have to think through, what kind of business you want to sort of build in. But yeah, all the best.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shashi and Mahindra. Yeah, we'll go to the next pitch for today, which is Karmapoints. Karthike, you can share your screen. Yeah, request everyone, the panelists to rate the startups. If you are rating them later, just DM me so that I know that you're not going to rate them now, you're going to rate them later. Yeah, Karthik, we can see your screen. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stop sharing, I think. If you able to see your screen, then you stop sharing.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, Karthik, go ahead.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm Karthike from Karmapoints, and I'm the founder. At Karmapoints, we are on a mission to change the way the world thinks about giving. We are using tech to make charitable giving more exciting and rewarding for all. We have 50 plus charity partners and 15 plus brands in our ecosystem. Our team is our biggest strength. We have scaled many businesses together. Our biggest plus is that we have been working together for a long time, and we like doing that. I have over 8 years of experience in strategy across startups and agencies. Nishant, our CTO and our co-founder, is here on the call. Nishant has over 20 years of experience in building and scaling products and agencies like WebChutney. Next up is Sunena. She also has 20 years of experience in scaling brands like Pepsi and Truly Madly. Raman is our product designer who has worked across startups, and Mudit is our platform developer whose last stint was at Gumle. The core team has expertise in tech, design, communications, and strategy. Our mentors, Amia, Nikhil, and Niaz, are some of the most distinguished members in their respective fields. Let's talk about the market size of the charitable giving space. These numbers can seem a little made up, but they aren't. India really has 3x more charities than sellers on Amazon. As more people in India have more disposable income, they're giving back more. According to the latest CAF, that is Charity Aid Foundation report, more than $1 billion are donated every year, with almost $126 million being donated in India every day. When it comes to just the online donation part, as in the individual online donation part, it grew at a rapid pace of 43% in the last 2 years, with the target market being currently more than 20,000 crores. The charitable market, giving market, is a very unique space. Almost everyone really wants to give back, but very few people actually do. So there is very high intention, but that does not get translated into action. So we did a research with 50 plus charities and 100 plus people before we started making Karmapoints. And so that we can also understand what were the problems in the market. So both the donors and charities have problems that have not been solved completely by the current players in the market. A few of the problems are listed below. For donors, transparency is a key issue, followed by lack of better product, lack of knowledge about the NGOs or the causes, and no gratification. On the NGO side, they can't get new donors and they have difficulty in retaining the existing ones. Because of that, there is always a shortage of funds, and because of that, they are never actually able to grow their operations, and they're kind of looped in that particular circle. So herein we come in, introducing Karmapoints. As our name goes, we are a platform जहाँ अच्छे कर्म करने के points मिलेंगे. We are making charitable giving engaging, transparent, and rewarding. It works in 4 simple steps. The donors can select where they want to contribute. We have 50 plus charities who have 70 plus goals across 12 categories on our platform right now. They can make a contribution through a secured payment gateway. They get options of one-time as well as monthly donations. The next step is that for every contribution, they get Karma points. So the ratio is 1:100. And with those Karma points, they can spend on our brand store and get offers and freebies from brands. We have 15 plus brands right now, including the likes of Culfit, Chai Point, Nat Habit, and Ugao. There are 3 important pillars for Karma points: the donors, the charities, and the brands. Out of these, the donors are the ones that will drive our revenue. So most of our GTM strategies are focused on that. On top of that, we, since a lot of us come from advertising background, we know the importance of focusing on organic growth as vis-a-vis the inorganic growth. That's why a lot of our initiatives are also organic in nature. Our efforts include a product feature for influencers and bloggers, which makes it a single-click donation possible on their respective pages. The content and on-ground efforts are to drive in new donors and create a community that can be leveraged for a longer period of time. When it comes to charities and brands, we have different outreach programs that our BD team carries out. For a product like ours, we realize that there might be more international appeal for the product as compared to India, because the people over there are slightly more evolved when it comes to charitable giving. Recognizing that, we already have a company opened in Australia. We are running our beta over there. We have 5 charities onboarded, and about $1,000 in donation collected from there. So once we kind of take this to a particular scale, we want to take that model across Europe and US as well. We have 2 ways through which currently we make money. Actually, one way which is live, and the other one is going live next month. For our app and website, we charge a 10% commission on all the funds raised for different websites or different charities. We have 50 plus charity partners for that. And the other one is the Shopify app that we have built. We're just testing it out. That's been built exclusively with WaterAid Foundation, which is a London-based charity. And on that, we'll be charging a 20% commission of all the funds.
Yeah, 1 minute to go, Karthik.
Okay. So we have a lot of donors. We have a lot of competition in our category. The likes of Keto, Milap, Give India are established players, and we realize that a lot of it's easier for them to do what we are trying to do. So we have already built our moats. First one is the reward mechanism. The second one is the volunteer module. The CSR module will get live in the next 3 months. We already have the Shopify app live, and we already have our presence in the AU market. So far we have raised around 11 lakh in funds. We have 15 brands. We have 56 NGOs, and the average donation amount is about $750. This is our financial forecast. In the first year, we want to do 3 crores in revenue. And by the 3rd year, we want to touch about 100 crores. And this is our financial requirement. We are looking at 1 crore at a 16 crore valuation, whereas a lot of the capital invested will go into building our tech team and the salaries of the current people. Yeah. And this is just the beginning. As Amazon also started small, so we also want to go a similar way, because the charitable giving space has not been, digitized right now, and someone will do it. We want to be the ones that does it.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
presentation, Karthik. Yeah, we're open for questions.
Can I go?
Go
Or
ahead,
am I the
Devesh.
only one asking questions today?
No, go ahead, Devesh.
Okay, Karthikeya, thank you. Firstly, a very, very nice and slick presentation.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions and 1 clarification.
Yeah.
Number 1, vetting of partners. Given the government of India focus on NGOs, what are you doing to make sure that you're meeting government regulation?
Sure.
Point number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And within that, there's a subset question, which is giving is a very personal thing. Okay, like I'm a dog lover, I like giving to Voice of Stray Dogs or whatever. So I did not see the segmentation of your partners. Is it to orphanages, or is it for education? Is it for old age people? Is it for dogs, cats, whatever? So it may be interesting to see that. That's point number 1. But vetting of partners is very important.
Sure.
And I almost hate myself to ask this question, but what's in it for me as an investor? What's your exit strategy? How are you going to make money?
Sure, sir. So I'll answer all 3 questions. The first one is that.
Yeah, I have not asked my third question. I'll keep it for the end. You answer these 2 first. Yep, go ahead. Yeah. Do you want me to ask the third question?
Sure, sir. I mean, I'll leave it up to you.
Okay, I'm a British citizen. So I just want to bring to your attention, as a British citizen living in India, my donations have to go to an FCRA account in India. Okay. So please be very careful with your partners. If they're getting money from non-residents who are resident in India, they need to have an FCRA account. Otherwise, you get into really big trouble.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So point number 1, we have a 17-point list of checkpoints before we onboard our NGOs, which includes a lot of documents that the government of India has mandated, along with last 3 years of financial reports. So that's one. The second is, I mean, since right now we have only 50 charities, I personally and the team personally have gone to all the centers because that is something that we have been able to do. But before that, we have that 17-point checklist. That's the first one. The second one is, as you correctly mentioned, giving is a personal choice for all the people. So that's why we have 12 categories through which, or rather on which, we onboard NGOs. These includes girl child, these includes education, food, old elderly people, animals, and even pride, as in I'm sorry, the LGBTQ community. So there are different, the minority segment. So we have 12 different categorization, and the NGOs are onboarded with respect to that, those categories. I mean, the entire point is that since we have a large pool, so everyone will be able to filter out the causes, and we'll be able to personalize those causes in the long run. As in, when we get more data, your feed for Karmapoints will be very different from my feed for Karmapoints, because if you are an animal, you'll only be seeing animal posts, and if I'm let's say inclined towards giving towards education, I'll be seeing more of that, as in the personal recommendation engine kind of kicks in over there. The third aspect is absolutely FCRA is very, very essential. So for currently how the system is, we are only accepting Indian payment, as in payment to Indian NGOs in India, and the Australian NGOs are accepting payments from Australia. So that's one. As in, when we kind of open up different, go in different countries, wherein so the plan over here is to invest, or rather open up different companies in different countries, so that the money regulated can be done accordingly. A lot of people from outside India are going to give to people inside India. So as you correctly mentioned, there are specific FCRA accounts in which the money has to be transacted. So we have figured out a mechanism with our charity partners that will be executed in the next 3 to 4 months. Coming to how you will make money, sir. So we plan, we are a for-profit venture, and we are not an NGO ourselves. So we plan to scale up this ecosystem, because since everything is digitized, so the economies of scale will kick in. The amount of money I drive in with 10,000 donors versus the amount of money I'm going to drive with 10 lakh donors with the same donation amount is going to be humongous. So we plan to leverage that. And since we are making 10% on every donation, and secondly, with Shopify, we plan to make 20% on every donation, I think there'll be enough left for everyone.
Yeah. Any last question from anyone? No? Okay, fine, Karthik, thanks.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, thanks to the panelists. We have our last pitch for the day. Yeah, so thank you for your diligent questioning and time. So we go to Uhapo. Vivek, you can share about Uhapo. Over to you.
Namaskar, my name is Vivek Sharma. I represent Uhapo. Uhapo, as you understand, like it's certain confusion to clarity because we work with cancer, and Uhapo is a Sanskrit, Hindi, and Marathi word that Uhapo, that means the state of ambiguity, because there is chaos in this disease. There are a lot of ambiguities. So we try to bring people from confusion to clarity. And this is a platform which is run by cancer survivors on ground. And like me and my co-founder Umesh, we come from oncology industry background, and we are mentored by key oncologists in India. So the journey started, a few years back, after a suicide attempt, followed by, creating a matrimony for cancer patients and survivors. Then gradually, including their various initiatives related to cancer. And eventually, we conducted market research with 700 cancer patients and caregivers to understand that what goes on in their life and how they feel like. So we understood that there is a journey right from the confusion state, right from the pre-diagnosis phase to the post-treatment phase, be it surviving the disease or kind of getting into palliative care. So these are the questions that we listed down, and we understood that, okay, these are the queries to be addressed and answered. And accordingly, we developed the solutions in each category, each vertical. So practically, there are 5 big problems that any cancer patients or caregiver is having. One is the navigation challenge. Many of the times they don't have access to the right doctors, institute, second opinion at right time, both ways. Like in many of the cases, we would have also heard that doctor says that आप पहले आए होते तो कुछ हम कर सकते थे, because many of the times patients are coming or presenting to the doctor in stage 3, stage 4. So there is this is because of primarily due to lack of awareness, ambiguity of the disease. Like people think that, okay, lung cancer is lung cancer, but the practicality is that lung cancer itself is of 20 types, and there are different treatment algorithm, treatment patterns for every type. So which doctor to go, there is a delay in the reaching to the right doctor, and then like going to some other specialty, and finally by the time patient reaches out to the oncologist, this it's quite late. And there are other things as well, like we perceive that cancer means death, nothing can be done now, I'll have to sell off my properties, expensive disease, whatever. But that's not the truth. That is why the I would say the awareness, right awareness is quite much required. And there are a lot of ambiguities related to the cost of therapy, cost of the treatment, because the evolution has been there in the treatment journey, but many of the people are not aware about it. Then emotional challenges are always there, because we have been kind of as a society seeing that cancer is related to the death, and then people get into lost mode, fearful, they are grief struck, they are lonely, and depression and other things they take over. Functionally, they feel it very overwhelming, because the disease is disease, and it does impact the body, the physical activities and everything. And we being a social animal, we see a lot of taboo, we see a lot of discrimination for cancer patients in our society. And of course, financially, it breaks down people to the core. And irrespective of like we've seen the therapy of cancer from 5,000 rupees a month to 4.5 lakhs rupees a month. And we see that biggest of the people, they look for some kind of donation, they look for some kind of support system. So these are the problems, and if these are the problems, what are the solutions? So solution is an unbiased and accessible to all platform that creates awareness, conducts screening camps, and serves all the needs of cancer patients and caregivers under one roof at reasonable cost, and preferably closer to their home. That's where Uhapo exists. We are trying to fit in the bill, and we are trying to do as much as work we can do. So Uhapo is essentially a community building for cancer patients and caregivers to solve their, even survivors, to solve their problems throughout their journey. So it's not like patient comes to us and does some consultation or take some services, and we leave them or they leave us. We try to handhold them throughout their journey, right from the awareness to the screening to treatment to wigs, prosthesis, to palliative care, to jobs, to matrimony, and etc. So there are a lot of benefits to the target audiences, because right from the awareness to the access is something very, very important to us, and we try to solve that problem. And of course, there are, fortunately, we have got 5,000 plus oncologists trained in India today, but that itself speaks about the volume, because in such a big economy, in such a big country, it's a very small number, but still a lot of oncologists, DM oncologists are coming, and as the pool increases, there are going to be a lot of awareness and a lot of enhancement in the lives of the patient. And yes, we try to provide the solution based on the human touch, because this is a disease wherein it's like it's we can't be, or anybody can't be mechanical, like cut aao or chale jao, but they need a lot of empathy. Empathy is a key word over here, because that is something which is, it's not purposely missed, but yes, because of the load, because of other things, it is quite compromised nowadays. Financially, we try to connect with NGOs, and we try to connect with other service providers as well, with the government schemes and everything. But even in case somebody comes to us and they are not able to pay, we do not deny them that yes, just because you can't pay, you should not be denied the services. So be it matrimony, but matrimony is anyways free of cost. Be it donating a wig to somebody, be it free palliative care support, we try to give it to them. And of course, because awareness and access are the key ingredient or the key element that is defining the cancer landscape today. So our extensions are the healthinc.co.in. It's a platform that is kind of in a nutshell, if I say that, it's kind of a news portal for cancer or critical diseases. And yes, we have a YouTube show, Cancer Ki Baat, with and a podcast as well, to educate and empower people. And as I mentioned, awareness and screening, that is the only thing that is going to help detect early and better outcomes in the treatment of cancer. So we are a social enterprise, as in we are a for-profit registered company, and but because we are dealing with the community, we are dealing with such a critical, or I would say sensitive area. So we are doing we are attaching a lot of social work to this. But yes, we have a business model. One is our support group. We run different support group in lung cancer, bladder cancer, and we just started in brain tumors, and other cancers are to be started. So this is basically to connect with patients and establish a rapport and solve their problem on a monthly basis. And then we have Uhapo Seva Kendra, which is a physical center which is manned by a cancer survivor. And they help the patients who are coming to us on ground or through digital leads for their navigation, for their any concern that they have during their treatment journey. And we have built up a lot of content related to cancer. And further, we have a plan to monetize that. And of course, awareness and screening, because this is the basic thing which is going to help patients or people live a healthier life and better quality of life. So there are a lot of works being done in that direction. So our revenue model is like, one, we have patient services, which is kind of home care services, pain management, palliative care, wigs, processes, tumor board consultation, and etc. There are multiple other things as well. But on the other side, we have corporate collaborations like doctor focused videos, doctor focused content, patient focused content, and screening camps, marketing sites, healthcare professional education. Then government as well as non-government tie-ups for mass screening. We are in talks with certain with Niti Aayog for how we can enroll more people during our screening camps and awareness camps on Ayushman Bharat card or PM Jan Arogya Yojana. And community building, of course, we have a property called the Cancer Conclave, wherein we raise funds for the conclave, and we bring in all the stakeholders together and do the brainstorming, write the white paper, and try to address and bridge the gap between the current paradigm and what it should be. And we are now having made or built and run a few support groups. We think of monetizing it. So market size, as the data says, ICMR data, that close to 1.5 million new cases, but to our experience is more than 2.5 million cases which are being diagnosed every year in our country. And if we talk about the active user, Bombay itself is having 2.5 lakh active patients, which we are able to judge or we are able to identify through talking to other stakeholders. Yes, there is a very much demand of such kind of platform because oncologists are very busy. They cannot spend more time to per patient. In spite of even in the so-called posh corporate setups, they feel it very difficult to see all the patients and deliver the same quality to everybody. So our core team that includes me, Umesh, my co-founder, who comes from the corporate background. He has been heading Eli Lilly and BMS for 22 years. And in his last assignment in corporate, he was working with Biocon Oncology, looking after Asia Pacific business for theirs. We have a mentor, Dr. Kumar Prabhas. He's HOD in Tata Memorial Hospital. Kuldeep is our CA, and he does mentor us on the financial fronts. And Dr. Vijay Patil is our mentor, who himself is a head and neck cancer specialist. And there are other people on our team as well, be it content, digital, cancer survivors, and editors, and everyone. Our competition benchmark. Basically, see, it's kind of a journey. And
Vivek, 30 seconds more. Huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
So these are the competition benchmark to us, and then we are already in market. This year we'll be having a revenue of 30 lakhs through these patient services, cancer conclave, and SCP education, and we want to expand in the markets. And going forward next year, 3 crores. This is what we have projected, and then the subsequent year 10 crore what we have projected. We have a fascinating and nostalgic journey over the period of time. And yes, the resource that we are looking to raise would be invested or spent in product development, because technically we are still not very strong. We still have ideas that we need to build on, and then on ground impact has to be created, continued, and of course capital and operational expenses are there, and of course we need to have a better and a bigger team and infrastructure. Thank you.
Yeah, we're open for questions.
Yeah.
Good presentation, Vivek.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Arun, Pramod.
Vivek, I mean, obviously the work that you are doing is really great. And one can see that it's coming straight from the heart. And also as it scales up, I'm sure it will be having a very high level of stickiness also, because it's a lot of word of mouth, etc. will work on this. Can you talk a little more about your revenue models, and how do you, like when you are saying that from this year 30 lakhs to 3 crores and then 3 crores to 10 crores, how will it work out?
So practically, sir, patients' revenue is, I would not say insignificant, but it is quite less. Like if I say 3 crore, then next year we have kind of projections for patient-related thing. It's kind of 50 lakhs only, but other revenue would be coming from the corporate. Like we have something, or we are able to generate, or we are able to leverage something that everybody needs. Doctors need patient, hospitals need patient, industry needs patient. So that is why they kind of support the programs that we run, and that in turn generates patients. So like screening camps, they are going to be sponsored by people, and we are in talks with other corporates as well, those who can support us. The community building, it is a need of every oncologist or every small setup, but they are not able to do it. So we will be doing it on their behalf, and we'll be charging them for that. Of course, we are in talks with the government also, so that we can get some funding, and while doing these screening camps and other things, we can help them also for their work. So in nutshell, these are the ways we'll be or we are generating money.
Okay, I mean, right now we will not have the time, but at some point in time, one would be keen to sort of understand, put some numbers and, understand the plans a little more in detail. Sure. I have worked in Novartis, and,
awesome.
So a little bit of, understanding of how it could get scaled up. And we were trying to do, at that point in time, I'm talking about some 10 plus years back, we were looking at trying to do some health initiative scale up at a large scale. And we found it like humongously difficult in terms of scale up. I mean, the initial progress in some pockets, etc., is pretty good, but the scale up at an India scale is a different animal altogether.
Absolutely.
So one would be keen to understand that a little more in detail, but I don't think we can do it in this in these few minutes that we have.
Sure.
Good point, Pramod. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Arun, any question? Arun, or even our mentor investors, Raj, Saroji, any question?
Yeah, Vivek, you're doing an incredible job, but
Thank you, sir.
I think scaling it is going to be a challenging. Really need to convince us it's not possible to do it in this demo that can grow from 30 lakhs to 3 crores. Sounds very good, but I'm not sure about how easy it is and how sure you are about how confident you are about the numbers.
In just to share with you, sir, because we are talking about it, there is already kind of a crore of rupees worth work that we are supposed to get from a corporate. Probably April onwards will be. It was supposed to come this year itself, but somewhere it got delayed. So maybe April onwards we'll start working on that.
Yeah, I think that was a point which was raised, that scalability is a big challenge.
Right.
It's a very noble initiative, and I really like the fact that you're putting your spirit, whole spirit and behind a very, very difficult initiative.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So thanks, Vivek.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Devesh also has a ton of questions because he's also from healthcare, but he said for a change, I will not ask. But we'll link up. Link up with more questions and, of course, seek more answers in a detailed pitch as we get more ready. So thanks again. Thanks, Arun. Thanks, Devesh. And thanks, Pramod, for giving us your time for this demo day. Your feedback is valuable, and the comments you put in the evaluation sheet will help us guide the startups for the next stage. What should they do next in terms of investor access?
Absolutely.
And of course, yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Something.
Go ahead, Devesh.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I have a hard stop, so I have to drop off.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
So we are
Thank you very
all
much.
ending. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And thanks, Saroji. Thanks, Raj. Thanks, Amar, and Team Sarthy for this. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.